The question is that the proposed expenditure be agreed to, and I call the member for Wentworth.
Thank you. I have three key questions for the Attorney-General. The first is regarding the Safer Communities Fund, which I note from the budget was defunded in this current budget. I want to note that the Executive Council of the Australian Jury's Report on Anti-Semitism in Australia in 2021 estimated that anti-Semitic incidents, including assaults, verbal abuse and vandalism, increased 35% over the previous year, a worrying trend that is mirrored around the world. One particularly disturbing example from my area was a story of a young Jewish student being pushed into a school locker and sprayed with aerosol to simulate gas chambers. The Safer Communities Fund has played a critical role in giving the local Jewish community across Wentworth and across the country vital infrastructure to protect residents. This includes protection for synagogues, schools and other community centres, as well as monitoring of digital threats. These grants have only partly covered physical infrastructure, and the community themselves have invested millions in supplementing this with their own funds. I would also like to note that the work of places like the Community Security Group, which is funded by partly has been funded by the Safer Communities Fund as well as the Jewish community, also provides vital information to the New South Wales Police and others by working together with them and sharing their intelligence. I would like to understand from the Attorney-General what the Government is going to do in terms of ensuring the safety of communities that have been supported by the Safer Communities Fund. The second question I have for the Attorney-General is relating to the Respect at Work support. I acknowledge the good work that the Government has done in implementing the Respect at Work bill in full, and I support that. However, I have real concerns from the LGBTQ community that they are not covered by the Respect at Work legislation. The Respect at Work legislation has a very narrow definition in terms of sex, and it doesn't even reflect, the full range of characteristics protected under the Sex Discrimination Act, including sexual orientation, gender identity, intersex status, pregnancy or relationship status. So this means that the bill does not provide appropriate protection for LGBTQ community. It also creates inconsistency in terms of what we are asking from businesses, who must already comply with anti-discrimination law, which relates to all the protected characteristics under the Sex Discrimination Act. I know that the Attorney-General is committed to supporting the LGBTQ community, and I appreciate his words to that effect, and I'd like to understand how he's going to ensure that the LGBTQ community can get the benefit of the protection that have been allowed under the Respect at Work. My final question relates to the NAC, which is before the Parliament as we speak. Again, I'd like to acknowledge the Government's good work in bringing a strong and robust NAC to the Parliament, and is one that my community in Wentworth wholeheartedly supports. However, I am concerned with the oversight of this NAC, and particularly the fact that the Government of this day is able to appoint a Commissioner, Deputy Commissioner and Inspector on political or party lines if they wish to, without any need to get support from across the Parliament. I understand the Government's desire to retain control of parliamentary committees. It's the way that things have always been done in this place. But if May's election has told us anything, it's that things need to change. For the NAC to succeed, and the Commission itself, the parliamentary committee that oversees it must act and be perceived to act without partisan motive. This is particularly important when it comes to the committee's role in confirming the appointments of these people. I think I've heard the Attorney-General identify and acknowledge that the Commissioner's appointment is absolutely critical in terms of how the NAC will be perceived and how effective the NAC will be. And I believe that if that appointment is absolutely so critical that it must not be seen to be politicised, even if that is only a perception. There must be a mechanism to get broader support across the Parliament and to seek that to ensure that it is not seen as a political piece. Because I think that the perception that this could be a political appointment could undermine the NAC from the start, and that would be a great travesty for the people who have invested who are saying that we need to invest in the quality of our democracy and in the institutions of our democracy to protect against bad actors. I will be moving an amendment in this space, but I seek to understand from the Government's point of view how the Attorney-General is going to ensure that the appointment of the Commissioner cannot be partisan and one that is that could bring the NAC into disrepute. Thank you.